The lie you were told is this. Resignation is the ultimate professional power move. You draft a carefully worded letter, you pack your box, you hand over your badge, and you walk out with your pride intact. You believe you have taken control. The truth is this. Resignation is a corporate cost-saving mechanism. It is the cheapest, most legally efficient way for an organization to eliminate a liability without paying a premium. When you resign, you do the system's work for it. You leave your leverage at the door. You forfeit severance. You walk away with nothing but a false sense of autonomy. The system categorizes quitting as honorable and getting fired as shameful. This is not morality. This is accounting. A termination requires legal review, risk assessment, and financial compensation. A resignation requires nothing but a signature. To understand why forcing the system to fire you is often a superior strategic maneuver, you must first understand the invisible architecture of the corporate world. Look at the structure above you. You operate under the assumption that the corporate hierarchy is designed to optimize output, to reward innovation, and to promote the most capable personnel. It is not. The system is designed to optimize stability and predictability. Excellence is unpredictable. Innovation is disruptive. Truth is highly inefficient. Organizations do not reward truthfulness. They reward those who do not cause problems. The manager who delivers mediocre results but never escalates an issue will always outlast the high performer who points out structural flaws. Truth creates friction. Friction slows down the machinery. When you identify a broken process or a failing strategy, you think you are adding value. The system sees you generating administrative debt. The architecture prefers a functioning dysfunction over a disruptive cure. You are dealing with an algorithm of self-preservation, not a meritocracy. This brings us to the first structural anomaly you will encounter, the competency trap. You optimize your workflow. You handle the workload of 3 people. You fix crises before they reach the executive level. You assume this makes you the obvious candidate for promotion. You are entirely wrong. Your hyper-competence has made you immobile. If the company promotes you, they must hire 3 people to replace your current output. They must spend time training them, and they must absorb the inevitable mistakes those new hires will make. Promoting you is a massive net financial loss. Leaving you exactly where you are is a highly profitable yield. Therefore, your reward for unmatched productivity is permanent stagnation. You become a load-bearing pillar. Moving you collapses the floor. The system will consistently promote the average employee over you because their current position is easy and cheap to fill. You engineered your own trap by being too useful. As you remain in your position, a secondary dynamic takes hold. The longer you stay, the more dangerous you become. Not because of your accumulated power, but because of your accumulated memory. The corporate structure operates on a necessary cycle of collective amnesia. A new vice president arrives. They propose a sweeping restructuring plan to demonstrate immediate impact. It is the exact same plan the company attempted 4 years ago. You know it failed. You remember the exact cost of the failure. You point this out in a meeting. You believe you are saving the company millions. In reality, you are no longer viewed as an experienced advisor. You are categorized as a memory threat. The system requires a blank slate to sell old mistakes as new strategies. Your institutional memory contradicts the current narrative. You become a block to the required amnesia. The leadership will systematically isolate you, not because your data is wrong, but because your accuracy threatens the credibility of the new regime. Experienced employees are targeted during layoffs not just because of their higher salaries, but because their memories represent an active threat to executive maneuvering. As they isolate you, the language used to evaluate you will shift. You are suddenly subjected to the weaponized vocabulary of human resources. Your performance metrics remain high, but you are told you lack cultural fit. Let us decipher this term. Cultural fit has nothing to do with shared values, ping-pong tables, or office camaraderie. It is a metric of obedience. It measures your willingness to accept unreasonable demands without activating HR protocols. You will be told you lack energy. Energy is corporate shorthand for a lack of personal boundaries. It means answering emails at midnight and accepting uncompensated labor with a smile. When HR says you lack these traits, they are not assessing your personality. They are simply diagnosing that you have become too expensive and too difficult to manipulate. They are building a paper trail. You sit at your desk looking at an email that contradicts reality, and you feel it. That specific institutional vertigo. It is the disorienting, nauseating realization that the ground rules you were taught do not match the physics of the room. The harder you work, the further you fall. The more truth you speak, the more isolated you become. The vertigo makes you want to escape. Your instinct is to type the resignation letter. You want the pain to stop. Do not resign. Resignation is a capitulation. When you resign, the company's liability drops to zero. They keep the capital. When you force them to fire you, specifically when you force them to eliminate your position or manage you out without cause, you trigger the severance protocols. The system prefers to pay for silence and a clean break. They will buy your departure. A severance package is not a gift. It is a calculated risk mitigation purchase. It buys your signature on a non-disclosure agreement. It buys a release of all legal claims. It buys protection against wrongful termination suits. If you are a competent employee who has become a memory threat, the company wants you gone, but they do not want the disruption of a messy exit. By refusing to quit, you force them to utilize their capital to remove you. You get paid for the months it takes them to build a case, and you get paid when they finally offer the package to make you leave quietly. You convert your exit from a personal failure into a leveraged buyout. You walk away with 6 months of salary and a neutral reference. The employee who resigned out of pride walks away with nothing. We must remove the sentimentality from our careers. Do not seek validation from a machine designed to extract your utility. Look at the data. Operate with cold precision. First, control your own narrative. Do not let management dictate the terms of your performance. Document your output. Keep your own ledger. Forward evidence of your successes to your personal archives before your access is suddenly revoked. When HR attempts to construct a narrative of underperformance, counter it with hard, time-stamped data. Make it mathematically impossible for them to fire you for cause. Second, create financial leverage. The company's greatest weapon against you is your reliance on the next paycheck. Build a runway. Liquidate debts. The moment you no longer fear the termination meeting is the exact moment you reclaim your leverage. When you are not afraid of being fired, you cannot be bullied by the threat of it. Finally, view loyalty as an illusion, not a strategy. The corporation is an algorithm. An algorithm cannot love you back. It does not remember the weekends you sacrificed or the family events you missed. It will liquidate your position the second the spreadsheet demands it. Give them exactly what they pay for. Meet the parameters of your contract. Nothing more. When the time comes that the environment is no longer tenable, do not give them the gift of a free exit. Let the vertigo pass. Stand your ground. Make the system pay for the privilege of your departure.